It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. All right, everyone, I am so excited. I am going to be having SHEBA on my show today, and I am so excited to get to know her. I'm so excited with everything that she is doing out there and the inspiration that she is providing for the world. So welcome to the show, SHEBA.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so privileged and excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
Oh, I am beyond excited, too. I've been waiting for this interview for quite a while now. Would you mind, SHEBA, introducing yourself to my listeners today?
Well, hello, listeners. I'm SHEBA. That's what I go by. And I'm just what I consider to be a women's empowerment coach and mentor. Listen, I think that I'm just here to be at service to women, to empower them to reach their fullest potential, to empower them to walk in their power, and to not be afraid to do so. Just everything. I feel like my purpose is just to use my life experiences, just to encourage women to just be comfortable in their own skin and to go forth and to make an impact in the world. I can keep going on and on and on.
Oh, I love it.
We only have only a few minutes, so I'll stop there.
Well, I want to ask you, what drove you to that? Why did that become your purpose in life, to help other women?
Well, growing up, funny enough, I always was drawn to women because I feel as if I was just born, just bold and outspoken and confident, and so many other different characteristics that I've seen that were lacking among women that were in my, if I can say sphere, for the lack of a better word. And I always, even from a young age, like I'm the youngest daughter of oh gosh, many children. Let me stop. But no, I'm the youngest daughter of nine. There's 9 of us. And, there's sometimes that even my older sisters would come to me for advice. And I'm thinking something's wrong here, And then even my friends, I was always just this, I would always, build up other women and, tell them, girl, you're just as good as anybody else. Yep. You deserve to be here. Seriously, from a very, very young age. And so doing what I'm doing now, I'm not surprised at all, just encouraging women, empowering women. It's not to say that I don't have my own struggles. Trust me, I do, but I just know how to bounce back from them. And that actually leads me to what SHEBA means, right? So SHEBA is actually an acronym. It stands for something. It's an affirmation. So when people call me SHEBA, I always it's almost like I'm getting an empowerment vaccine, wink, wink. And what it stands for is she's better after it all. And so every single time someone says, hey, SHEBA, it's like I get this empowerment dosage that I can't explain. And so this is why I always encourage other women that it's not only me that's SHEBA, but you're SHEBA, Candace, you're SHEBA, whoever else is listening to me, you're SHEBA after every single thing, after every, bump in the road or trip, on the path or mistakes that you've made. You can stand tall with your shoulders back, head up. If you have to roll your neck, I'm from Brooklyn, so you have to roll your neck and say, I'm still better after it all. It's just a sense of empowerment, and it's my desire to spread this message across the world, honestly.
I think that is absolutely extraordinary. And you do a lot of, right now you're not probably, but you have done a lot of events. You do a lot of public speaking. And
yes.
Tell me about that. Like, what do you do at your events?
Well, most people encourage, like I said, I really am like an empowerment coach, mentor. So I just go just to kind of give words of encouragement. most times at my events. One event that I usually have every year. Last year, kind of, we had to shift things. Is we call it bear the name, but we all are grown here, right? But it's called Titties, and it was an annual breast cancer, event, awareness event, fundraiser. And that is just to encourage women, like I said, in every situation and everything that they've been through, they have to understand that they're better after it all. So even for breast cancer, you're still better. For any other, sickness or different things that, we've experienced. And as people will know, I'm an open book. And so I actually went through a divorce. And even after divorce, after I thought, oh my goodness, my life literally went topsy-turvy, but I came up afterwards and said, Sheba, you are better after this. And so, like I said, mostly the events, public speaking, it's really just inspiration, motivation, encouraging. I've done a lot of work with mental health, awareness, and most times I just say mental health empowerment. Even if you check me out on Facebook or Instagram, you'll notice I use that word a lot because I know that there's power in words and there's power in the things that you say, so it just, and I'm telling you, I'm that friend that if you say something, I'm going to correct you because once the words get out into the atmosphere of the universe, it has the ability to produce something. So you have the ability to produce your reality based on what you say.
Oh, gosh, I love that. It is so true. Words are so powerful, and using the right words really makes a difference, for yourself, when you're saying words to and then saying words to others. I always tell my children that too. It's like, okay, your words are powerful. Be careful what you say because that could hurt somebody or it could lift somebody up. So I love that. So tell me, you've also got a coach. You were mentioning earlier, you've got a coaching part of your business that you do. Tell us about the coaching. And is this a coaching opportunity that you can help our listeners around the world?
Oh, absolutely. So there's two dimensions of it. The first dimension really is at the core of me as an educator. And so my field is early childhood education. So I provide a lot of coaching for teachers, classroom teachers. I've coached administrators as it relates to, early childhood principles, techniques and best practice really is what it is. And then the other component, again, is always some type of empowerment coaching is I wouldn't consider myself, honestly, a life coach, but there is, if in order for someone to kind of understand or, figure out how to relate, it would be some type of life coaching. So I've coached people with business ideas. Sometimes they're wondering, okay, where do I start? How do I start? Is this even a good idea? A lot of people have asked me, to provide some type of coaching or some type of guidance as it relates to those things. So absolutely, positively. I'm not sure if this is the right time to maybe, give my website, but if they have the ability to go to the website, you can. Okay.
What I'll be doing later, Sheba, is I'll be posting your website with all of our stuff so that our listeners can get a hold of you that way too.
Oh yeah, so then that's fine. Then yeah, absolutely. Just plug into the website. It's actually called Ready Set Go. Ready Set Go, because sometimes some people may be at the ready part, they may be at the set part, and then some people may be like, listen, it's time to go. So that's the reason why I named it that. And you can always email me. I'm very, like I said, I'm just so me and just so I'm just laid back. But I'm willing to provide my knowledge, my wisdom, my skills, my experiences to make, people better, basically.
Wow. You're extraordinary. You are definitely a mompreneur, a womanpreneur, a lady that is doing so many things. And you also, there's a whole bunch of other things I want to talk about, but you also wrote a book. Would you mind mentioning your book? Because I really want to do a plug out for that, too.
Yeah, oh my goodness, thank you so much. My book, it feels like every time that I produce some type of work or even an event, it feels like I go through labor and delivery. It's, I really take these things on as being my babies, honestly. And so my first book, because my second one is actually going to be published probably in 2 weeks or so. We're still wrapping up some last minute things. But the first one is called Heart of Gold, and it was inspired by my son. Oh my goodness, he was like my next biggest inspiration, And it was actually based upon a real story where my his father and me my husband at that time, and we had to go to the hospital to take him to the hospital because I forgot actually what exactly was going on with him. Something going on with him. Now I'm much more laid back as it relates to parenting, and I'm going to tell you why. I currently have 30 nieces and nephews, right? So I've been, through the bumps of the head and the ear infections, and so I have a few things up my sleeve. Now his father's his first child, so oh my goodness, we have to call the ambulance. I mean the whole 9 yards. So call the ambulance. We got the child in the ambulance. Go to the hospital. Make a long story short. I'm like, really? So we're really going to do this? But fine. Go to the hospital. And he's there. What cured him, quote unquote, apple juice. Isn't it amazing how children are just so funny? But so apple juice cured him, which is lovely. I'm just happy that he's okay. And as we were leaving, we had to wait for the discharge papers. As we were waiting for the discharge papers, there was a young girl. She had to be, oh gosh, if I was to guess, maybe 2 to 3, maybe 2 to 4. Let's put it like that. And she's hollering. When I tell you, screeching. I mean, whatever was causing her discomfort, she made it known throughout the hospital, right? And so my precious little boy, Adonai, whom I love with all my heart, he goes, and he's very young at that time, too. Like, he's kind of barely, talking. He goes and grabs a book, right? And he goes and he reads the book to her. Now, I noticed it was something that he learned in school. Goodness. Right, because his teachers, although the children were, they were emergent speakers, basically, they allowed them to, to read to their class. Now, the class is looking at them like, I have no clue what you're saying. Because, they're, emergent readers, rather. And so they don't know the words, And so he used what he learned in school, and by the time he was done reading to the young girl, she was just calm, happy. I mean, it was amazing. Now, of course, in any author, you kind of have to dramatize it a little bit, but that's really the basis of the story and the inspiration for the book. So it's called Heart of Gold because that's really who he is to me. He's like my heart. He just has a heart of gold, honestly. Yep. And so that is it. And so, as I said before, mostly everything is really on the website. So any person that wants to connect, then you can definitely do it that way. And it's just my first baby, and now I'm moving on to the second one and the third one, and just kind of continuing on this gift that I have that I take very, very seriously. Yep.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, and I can't wait because I have a feeling you're going to be writing about your new bundles of joy in an upcoming book too.
Yes, trust me. This upcoming book, that's actually my dedication. It's like, children, as I mentioned before, early child education is my field. It's my love. Oh my goodness, I was an auntie since I was 9. That's just me. They just light up my life, and so most of my books are really just centered around that. And I actually have some ideas now that I do have twins. I'm a girl mom, listeners.
Oh, my gosh. Yay.
Yay, I'm a girl mom. And so I do have some ideas that I've been playing around in my head on how to, incorporate them now into my work. And now that I'm a mom of 3, which is, my greatest joy, but absolutely, positively, they would definitely have their book.
Yes. Well, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of excitement in your home as they get older.
Oh my God. Excitement and laughter and probably crayon drawings on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
That is so exciting. So you said you have a second book coming out in 2 weeks. Could you give us a little bit of a tips what that one's going to be like?
Yes. This one is, it's basically because, God, right, is a very complex, if I can say, phenomenon, for the lack of a better word, for explaining it. And, sometimes it's hard. You may have these conversations with children, and as adults, we're like, and so what I decided to do, right, is decided to simplify this phenomenon, right, of God, wherever you are with your belief or whatever. I tried my very best to simplify this God phenomenon in a way in which children can understand. So I use the letters of the alphabet to show children that they're just like, quote unquote, God. Now, you can fill in that blank.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, however you decide to relate to God, that's your prerogative. By no means is it a religious book. I'm telling you, you read it, you're like, oh, okay, she did it, But it's just to simplify as a teacher, as a parent. Any person could utilize this book to explain this is who God is, to children, because this person,
I love that.
This entity is just like you.
I am excited, and when you get that out, you let us know. We want to promote it on the Divas That Care with all of our tribe and stuff. I think it'd be a great addition to our Divas bookstore.
Oh, excellent. Absolutely. I would be honored to do that.
Oh, Sheba, you are just absolutely phenomenal. You've got all these different facets to you. And I noticed, too, you have a place on your website. And I didn't realize that you did this. You have a place that people can donate. And you are part of a program called Brown Bags in Brooklyn. I would love to hear about that. And I would love to hear, because we're really about giving back on the Divas That Care. We have this program called our Giving Tuesday, where we promote different charities and causes around the world. So please share with us about Brown Bags.
Oh, my God. Listen, I'm like speechless. I didn't even think that we were going in that direction, but I'm happy. So Brown Bags in Brooklyn, that's where it started. It's basically just, I don't know, like someone, I'm trying to put into words how to describe it. And I loved how one of my sister friends, how she's like, you know what? It seems like it's kind of like a pop-up shop food drive type of thing. So I was like, okay, we can run with that. But basically, we go into different communities, right, that are in need, and we just pack up brown bags with, food and a few times we use very light toiletries, and we just listen. Like I said before, I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm going to use a term. We just run the street, right? We just hit the street, and we run the street, and we're literally just passing them out. It started in Brooklyn, but then we branched out to Manhattan because we started. There's a need. People literally are sleeping on the street. Now, I hate to sound ignorant. But it literally broke my heart. I'm telling you, because I work in the city, and one time I had to work late, because normally I don't work late, but I work late, and I'm walking down the street, and I'm looking like, wait a minute, no, this is not really happening. And so I always have this quote, and I want everybody to hear me very clearly, right? I always have this quote, right, and it says that purpose is simply fulfilling a need, right? Many people try to figure out, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Others, they go on the other end of the spectrum where it may cause them to, feel down and, confused and all these different emotions. But when you live your life and you say, okay, purpose is simply fulfilling a need, then you would understand that you are living purpose every single day, as long as you can see a need and you fulfill it, right? And so this is really the driving idea behind Brown Bags in Brooklyn. Funny enough, I don't know, I never thought that I'm just this influential, to be honest with you. People in other states were like, Sheba, I'm going to do that in Pennsylvania. I'm going to do that in Arizona. Nice. I'm going to do that in the Bronx. And I'm like, really? And so I'm so excited other people have joined on to this movement of, and it's like a small token, but it's phenomenal. Something that we do. Yeah, thank you. It's not something that we, and this is by no means to discredit others who do similar work. We're not giving them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and just some type of leftover this and this. No, we actually have a chef. I'm telling you, the girl is bad. She's partnered with us, and she goes to work. Like, she really, really thinks about it. And she's like, listen, and it's so good to have people who share your heart and share your vision, because she's like, I'm not going to give anyone something that I wouldn't eat myself, And so, last time, she had some nice turkey melts and, different things in it. And I was just like, this is so amazing, because it really, it really speaks to who I am as a person. And so that's really, in a nutshell, what Brown Bags in Brooklyn is. And then also my husband is Nigerian. And so we try to do a lot of, giving back in Nigeria as well. And so we're in the process of really extending it there. Now, they don't have, brown bags, but, there's other ways in which we can continue on the same idea. And so I'm very excited about it. Funny enough, I was supposed to meet with the chef a few weeks ago, but, things happen with babies and things like that. And so we're going to meet soon so that we can, do this usually most times around the holidays, that type of thing.
I love it. I love what you are doing. And that's why, I mentioned always to our divas, we have these inspirational women on our program because they empower us and they inspire us to do so much good out there. So I want to thank you because I love what you're doing and everything. I love your services. I love that. You have one last thing I'm going to ask you. You have a place on your website also because I was really snooping and going through your website and learning all about you. Tell me about your shop. You've got a place. It's an Etsy page. Tell me about that. What is that all about? And so that our listeners can go and check that out too.
Yay! Yeah, actually, now let me tell you, I know that since we're divas, most times we relate to women, even though, but most times when you think about diva, we think about a woman, right? And so I believe that every woman, any person in general, but I just love speaking to women, every woman should have multiple streams of income.
Yes, that is so true.
So yes, you have your primary work, of course, your career or, your business and things like that. But then you just have some little side hustles. And so the Etsy shop is really just, side hustles. I really love earrings and a lot of natural things. If you see my apartment, you would think I'm in the woods. But anyway, I just love, natural. And so it really gives me the ability to tap into my creative side because I look at that as being my therapy. As I said before, I have issues just like everybody else. I have, shortcomings just like everybody else. But when I take those moments to tap into my creativity, I'm telling you, it's my therapy. So that's from painting, that's from, creating earrings. I, have to I have a few different things that's on that shop. And like I said, it's just really just a reflection of SHEBA, really, because someone told me this creativity is my realm, and I don't really know what that means, but they're just like, things that you do, it just stands out. It's very unique, but it's just me, and I just kind of roll with it. I'm very comfortable being me. And so, yeah, that's what the Etsy shop is. It's just different things. And, like I said, it's just another stream of income, one, but then also just the ability for me to share my creativity, to share my art in whatever capacity that is with the world and other women as well.
Oh, my gosh, I love it. And I can definitely tell why you're a creative person because that is exactly the energy and stuff you give off to me just talking to you today. So, oh, my goodness, thank you so much for taking the time today to be on my program, SHEBA, and I hope that you come back on again soon.
Oh my goodness, it took us long enough to get here. So
it might be a while, but we definitely want you back.
I'm telling you, yes, but this was an honor. This was a privilege, honestly. I'm so, so grateful. Thank you so much for even just considering me, thinking about me, and I'm just hoping that we would collaborate more in the future. And just for every person that's listening, thank you. I think womanhood, sisterhood, collaboration is so powerful. And the more women come together, the more women collaborate, the more women empower each other. I really wholeheartedly believe the world will be a better place. I really believe that.
Oh, my goodness, so do I. Thank you so much. And I know in the future we will definitely be collaborating on some more things, so I'm looking forward to that.
All righty. Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. And to all of our amazing listeners, thank you so much for tuning into the Divas That Care, for supporting our amazing guests that come on our program. And what I'll be doing at the end of today's program is I'm going to be posting SHEBA's show, and I want you to check out her website. Go and see the things that she's doing. As I said, I had a great time going through it, and I was absolutely inspired by the things that she is doing. And I know that each and every one of you will be inspired also. I hope that everybody has a fantastic day and that you do something kind. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.